Hello friends, again I am today before you with the model answer of yesterday's question. As you know, yesterday we gave a question from Indian philosophy. So we'll be trying to discuss that and we'll try to give a model answer for that in about 300 words. Today we'll be giving another question from philosophy of religion, which we will be answering tomorrow. So now let us see what was the question yesterday and how we can uh, answer it in a very standard and model manner. Now, yesterday's question was, what is the role of Shruti and Anubhav as pramanas in Indian philosophy? This is a question from Indian philosophy, and this is basically a question which has to be dealt across various systems in Indian philosophy, because you have to deal with, I mean, almost all the systems, right from Vedanta to Sankhya, Yoga to Nyaya Vaisesika and all those systems, and we have to explain how Shruti and Anubhava as pramanas play important role in the systems. So now let us start with the question. I mean, first we will try to give introduction, and then we will try to define what is Shruti and what is Anubhava and how they act as a pramanas in different systems. And then we will try to have critical evaluation of the whole thing. And then we will try to give some concluding remarks. So we'll start with some introduction or some general things about pramanas. In Indian philosophy, pramanas are accepted instruments for acquiring prama, that is valid knowledge. In fact, earlier also in earlier videos, I have told, when you are dealing with Indian philosophy, if you are able to remember the original Sanskrit words, please do use that. Similarly, in Western philosophy, if you are able to remember the Greek words or Latin words, which are original words of those philosophers or those scriptures, please do use that. Please do write, because that may fetch you better marks. So here we are using, because this we are dealing with some Indian philosophy, so we will be definitely using some Sanskrit words. So in Indian philosophy, pramanas are accepted instruments for acquiring prama. Prama is the valid knowledge is called prama in Indian philosophy. And pramanas are instruments for acquiring valid knowledge. Now, what are the instruments? Among them, Shruti and Anubhava hold profound significance, particularly in metaphysical, theological, and soteriological concepts across astic systems. So, basically, what is Shruti? Shruti is scriptural testimony. And what is Anubhava? Anubhava is direct experience. So these are the two important pramanas. Others are inference. I mean, is one praman which is important as far as Indian philosophy is concerned. But Shruti and Anubhava here we have to discuss. So let us concentrate to that. Shruti is scriptural testimony and Anubhava is direct experience. And these are important for astic systems, because usually in Shruti is scriptural testimony, which means particularly Vedic testimony or Upanishadic testimony. So that is not important for Gnostic systems, just like Charvak anyway doesn't believe like in Shruti. Buddhism and Jainism have their own way of knowing knowledge, or epistemology is different totally. So basically, this is meant for Nyaya Vaisesik, Sankhya Yoga, and particularly Vedanta. Now, Shruti meaning, now let us discuss Shruti as a pramana. Shruti meaning that which is heard. So, this is the literal meaning of Shruti, that which is heard. Refers to Vedas, including Upanishads, as I told earlier. So, this refers to the knowledge contained in Vedas and Upanishads, which are regarded as apauruseya, that is non-human origin. So this is regarded by those systems as books or scriptures of non-human origin and infallible. Now, it is considered indispensable in Mimamsa, Vedanta, and Nyaya for knowledge of that which lies beyond perception or inference, such as Dharma, Brahma, and Moksha. So I will once again repeat, this is important. Now, first thing, meaning of Shruti, literal meaning that which is heard. It refers to Vedas, including Upanishads. which are regarded as non-human origin, and they call it in Sanskrit apauruseya, and it is also considered as infallible, that is, it cannot be wrong. It is considered indispensable in at least three systems, Mimamsa, Vedanta, and Nyaya, for knowledge that which lies beyond perception or inference, such as Dharma, Brahma, and Moksha. Now, let us see how different philosophers in these systems have stated about Shruti. Now, in Purvamimamsa, Jamini, one of the philosophers in Purvamimamsa, holds that only Shruti can reveal Dharma, which is not empirically accessible. So, this is what Jamini says. Now, Sankara of Advaita Vedanta, he says, insists that Brahma, being attributeless and beyond duality, is known solely through Shruti. Then theistic Vedantins like Ramanuja and Madhava interpret Shruti as revealing a personal Sagun Brahma. So Vedant, Mimamsa, clearly they believe that Shruti is very important as far, and these are the just examples you can give, that Shruti reveals important thing regarding Dharma, regarding Brahma, regarding Moksha. Now let us see what is Anubhava as Pramana. Anubhava denotes immediate non-mediated realization, especially aparokshanubhuti, that is direct awareness of self. So Anubhava means immediate non-mediated realization. And in Sanskrit it is called aparokshanubhuti, the direct awareness of self or Atma. In Advaita Vedanta, Shruti-based inquiry must culminate in this transformative experience for true liberation. So basically, what Advaita Vedanta says, if first Shruti-based inquiry will start, and then it should culminate in a transformative experience through Anubhava for true liberation. So this is what Advaita Vedanta is saying. The true liberation is possible only when Shruti, through Anubhava, transforms in a transformative experience which leads to liberation. Now, Sankaracharya, again in Vivek Chudamani, this is one book written by Vivek Chudamani, says Brahma Vidya is fruitful only when it leads to Anubhava. So, Brahma Vidya is fruitful only when it leads to Anubhava. In yoga, that is Patanjali's Yoga Sutra, and Buddhism also, Anubhava arises through sustained mediative discipline and mental purification. So these two systems are little different from Vedanta, and they emphasize that Anubhava arises through sustained mediated discipline and mental purification. So till now we have described first part, that what are the importance of Shruti and Anubhava in different systems of Indian philosophy. Now let us critically evaluate the whole thing. Now rationalists in Indian philosophy like Charvaka reject Shruti as unverifiable and question Anubhava as subjective illusion. So Charvaka totally rejects both Shruti and Anubhava. Now some other critics argue that Anubhava can be colored by emotion, misinterpretation, or hallucination, that is Bhranti. In Sanskrit it is called Bhranti, especially without scriptural clarity. So this is again important criticism, that Anubhava can be colored by emotion, misinterpretation, and hallucination. Sankara resolves this tension. Basically, this was the criticism for which Sankaracharya Advaita Vedanta gave reply. He says that Shruti initiates inquiry, that is Shravan, Manan, that is rational reflection, refines it, and Nidhyasana, that is deep meditation, leads to Anubhava. So there are three steps Advaita Vedanta Sankaracharya tells: Shravan, Manan, and Nidhyasana. Shravan means Shruti, Manan means rational reflection, and Nidhyasan means deep meditation. And this leads to Anubhava. And then subsequently it leads to liberation. That's what Sankaracharya says. Now, Radhakrishnan, our president, Radhakrishnan, he was a very, as you know, he was himself a philosopher and a critic of also Indian philosophy, has written several books also. Now, Radhakrishnan praises Indian thought for harmonizing revealed authority. Revealed authority means Shruti, basically, with inner realization, forming a uniquely integrative epistemology. So, inner realization, again, Anubhava. So, basically, what Radhakrishnan says, he is praising Indian thought for harmonizing Shruti and Anubhava, just like Shankar Vedanta has done it. Now, what is the conclusion? Thus, Shruti and Anubhava are complementary pramanas. Shruti reveals the metaphysical truth, Anubhava consummates it. In lived experiential knowledge, together they bridge outer doctrine and inner realization. So, this is a balanced conclusion, mainly based on Advaita Vedanta and also Radhakrishnan. So, with this, we conclude this yesterday's question. Now, today will be, as I told, today we'll be giving one question, which will be from philosophy of religion. So, let us see what was that. What is that question which we will be discussing tomorrow? Now, question is, discuss the meaning and implications of divine simplicity. The question is, discuss the meaning and implications of divine simplicity in 300 words. Model answer to this question will be given tomorrow. I will again read it once again. Discuss the meaning and implications of divine simplicity. So, for this, we'll be giving model answer tomorrow. And tomorrow we'll take up another question from socio-political philosophy. Because as I told earlier also, we are taking one question from each section. So, Western philosophy, Indian philosophy, then the philosophy of religion, and the socio-political philosophy. So, like that, we are going ahead. So, thanks a lot for watching today's video. Again, we will meet tomorrow with the model answer for the question from philosophy of religion. Thank you, one and all.